Sunday, and welcome to Access Columbia. It is Kaylin here back on the microphone again. Today we have two special guests in our studio. We have Desmond Harrison, who is the Administration and Database Coordinator, and Dale Watson, the State Long-Term Care Ombudsman with the South Carolina Department on Aging. Good morning, you two. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much. Good morning. So before we get started on the show today, I want to ask you both about your roles and what led you to where you are today.
Okay. With me, I enjoy working with older adults, and I love being around my grandmother, love being around people in my family. So working with older adults has been just my passion, and so I've been doing it for about 40 years.
I love that. And Desmond, what about you?
Likewise, as Dale was stating, but I love helping older folks. I always believe that it's a blessing to grow old. So just knowing that there's people out here that are older that needs the care and the advocacy, and there's a department that actually sticks up for them. It led me right here, and I found my home here.
Oh, that's wonderful. So let's talk about the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. What role does it play in supporting residents in long-term care facilities? Let's start with you, Desmond.
Okay. The Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program is designed to advocate for residents living in nursing homes, assisted living, and community care facilities. Our role is to protect the residents' rights, address complaints, and ensure that residents are treated with dignity and, most importantly, respect. In South Carolina, we also serve residents in behavioral health and intellectual and developmental disability facilities.
What types of facilities fall under the oversight of the Ombudsman Program?
Under our oversight, we have nursing homes, assisted living facilities, intermediate care facilities, residential care facilities. So in South Carolina, we have about 192 nursing homes.
Okay.
We have 63 intermediate care. When we say intermediate care, those are facilities that serve intellectual disabilities. We have about 443 assisted living. So all combined with that and the fact that we also serve, as Desmond said, residents in behavioral health and intellectual and developmental disability facilities, we serve over 45,000 residents.
Wow, and that's definitely making a difference for sure. Can you explain what residents' rights are and why it is so important in long-term care settings?
We just want to remind people, well, first of all, resident rights are in federal law, and they're in South Carolina law. And it ensures that residents in long-term care facilities are treated with dignity and respect. And that I always remind people that when we look out our windows, we see the flags waving. We know that we have certain inalienable rights, but South Carolina and the nation has also said residents in long-term care facilities will be treated with dignity and respect. They have privacy. They have just a list of rights that have been coded into law to remind people that they have protections while they're in long-term care.
I have a personal experience with my grandfather being in a nursing home, not in the state of South Carolina, but he did not get treated well at Wright. And my mom was fighting to try to get somebody to care and do something about it. So services like this are so important. Can you discuss the steps that residents and families take if the resident feels like their rights are being violated?
They can call the ombudsman.
Okay.
One of the things we do is to try to empower the resident and the family. But if that's not working, we want to be sure that they know they have an advocate in us. And our job is to go and be the voice of the resident if people aren't listening to them, and remind facilities and facility staff what they are there to do. They're to provide quality care to that resident.
How is the right to dignity upheld in long-term care facilities?
It's our job to go in and we educate facility staff. We remind them of what their job is. We do the education piece, and we remind them that we need to honor our residents, and provide the care that the facility said that they would provide. I always remind folks that these are the folk who built this country, and they deserve the best we can give them.
Absolutely.
Type thing.
Absolutely. What protections are in place for residents' personal property and their financial affairs?
The protections are in place. The residents do have the right to keep their personal belongings and to be able to manage their finances.
Okay, great.
That's a right they have. That's just, like Dale was saying, that is a law they have. They don't give up that right to keep their personal belongings. The facility also must safeguard those properties, and they cannot interfere with any of those financials, their financial independence, unless they're authorized. So in regards to those decisions that they remain with the residents while they're in that facility.
I think it's important for them to have that independence.
That is correct.
It allows them
Yes.
to be able to feel like they're not a burden, that they can do their own things. What are the rules around discharge or transfer, and how are residents and families notified?
With discharge in federal law and in state law, residents, particularly in nursing homes, must receive a notice, a 30-day notice of discharge. And in that notice, it has to tell the resident why they're being discharged. And it just can't be because we don't like you today, or you're too much care for us, or whatever. They have to explain what happened, what they have done as a facility, and then they begin the discharge process. If it's something that the resident or their family disagrees with, then they can appeal that, and then they can contact us. We will help the resident and the family to appeal, and we will also go with the resident to the appeal hearing if they ask us to do so.
You know, I think something that a lot of families struggle with when they're in a situation where they feel like the person that is in care isn't being taken care of properly. They're scared of that retaliation and what that could look like. So how can residents and families safely express the concerns or file complaints without fears of that retaliation? Because that is such a real thing that I feel like people struggle with on a daily.
That is true. Just want to let them know the residents are legally protected from retaliation. They can definitely file that complaint, and the family can file that complaint with us here at the Ombudsman Program confidentially, and we'll make sure that that concern or that complaint will be handled with as most confidentiality as we can.
And if I'll tag in, we have made some great friends with the South Carolina Attorney General's office.
Oh, that's so helpful.
And if we see that there's retaliation against the resident, then we contact them, and they have been very successful of convincing people to not do that.
The powers that be always have
That's
helpful advice there.
Absolutely.
With several facilities closing in 2025, what impact does this have on residents and their families?
It's disruptive,
Yeah.
Very.
and residents are having to move into new communities. Most of the times those residents have been there for years,
Right.
and so they're having to reestablish friendships and just move to different places. Some people were being moved literally across the state, and so what we try to do is to be sure that they are as close as possible to their relatives, to their support networks, type thing. We have had this year alone 14 facilities that closed, and a loss of 552 beds.
It's a lot.
That is a lot of beds in assisted living, and it's just increasing more, and we're in the midst of one right now. And so we are trying our best to be sure that the trauma of transferring to another facility is minimized to the resident and to the residents' families.
I want our listeners to think about it like this. How would you feel if you were uprooted from your home and had zero control over it, especially when you're in a situation where there is literally nothing you can do? It's not like you have the ability to go, find a new house or find a new realtor to work with. There is literally nothing you can do. And so the resources that y'all provide to help people try to find that, next place, although it may be uncomfortable for them, thank you for helping in those situations, because clearly that's something that's important and what's needed to be done. So what does the Ombudsman Program do to assist residents when a facility closes?
Usually with the Ombudsman Program, we're usually on boots on the ground.
Right.
We're there to make sure these patients are educated, informed, let them know what is going on. We're going to make sure their rights are being protected during this whole transfer, making sure that their families are informed and know what's going on day by day. Just a familiar face to be there and to say, hey, I can go to them if I need a question or I have a concern. The Ombudsman Program is here for that. And when those closures happen, we're leaned on it very much.
Right. And that's so important. How does the Ombudsman Program monitor and support residents across such a wide range of facilities? Because I believe you said this earlier, they could be transferred to a place that's so far away. So what do you do to, make sure that the residents feel like they're being seen, they're being heard, and that they're getting the support that they need?
one of the things we do is we monitor the residents in their facilities on a regular basis. So we're in those facilities just talking to them at least 4 times a year. I mean, we talked about the number of facilities.
So how many people do you have on your staff? Because there must be a bunch of people if you have all like hundreds of
wish.
beds that you have
We
to
wish.
monitor. So
We
how many
wish.
people do you have?
We have a total of 32 people across.
That's it?
Yes,
Yes.
across the state of South Carolina.
Wow. Okay. Y'all
Yeah.
are busy.
Yeah, we really are. And when we look at the number of facilities that we have to cover, but we monitor, we're in there, at least I was in a facility in Scranton, South Carolina yesterday.
Okay.
And so we're in there visiting just to talk to the residents at least 4 times a year. Then we're back doing investigations. And when these residents, as they move, Desmond's job is he's tracking them to see where they go. And then we contact the receiving ombudsman. So wherever they go, we give them about a week or two to kind of get settled in their new place. And then we send an ombudsman out to check on them, introduce themselves to say, hey, I'm your new ombudsman. If you have an issue, if you have a problem, let me know it. Here's my brochure. Here's my number. Call me. Let your family know that they can contact me.
Do you, and this isn't on our list of questions, so I apologize, but do you have a situation where you've had somebody call you and say, I need help here, and you step in and you help, and they just continue to call and call because they know that you are a trusted source to them. And so if they keep experiencing whatever it is that they're going through, they know specifically that they can call you. Is there any particular story? You don't have to get into specifics, obviously, for confidentiality reasons, but is there any story that you can share that weighs heavy on your heart and that this is the reason why I do this?
Sure. Facility that ombudsman and I we're working on a situation. The resident she documents everything. She documents all of the issues, and she has the ombudsman on speed dial.
Okay.
And she has me on speed dial, and that's okay.
Yeah.
General Colin Powell says if people don't call you if they don't think you're going to do anything.
Exactly.
And so she documents issues. Then we in turn go and we spoke with the resident. And it was issues such as, hey, I just need water. And so we arranged for them to be sure that she had water every day, but also had little mini bottles of water that she could access. She wanted her some clothing items, so we arranged for staff to do that. She wanted to be able to have some therapy. We arranged for staff to evaluate her for therapy so that she could get up and do some more walking because we did not want her to be isolated in that room. So she has its own speed dial. It's okay. If she calls us and we answer and we resolve her issue, we count it as a great day in South Carolina.
Oh, for sure. So now, Desmond, I want to ask you this question because you're kind of like we had mentioned that you're the administration and database coordinator.
That's
so
correct.
I don't know what your involvement is necessarily working directly with people, but what is the most rewarding part of your job?
The most rewarding part is seeing the smiles on people's faces when I see one of the regional ombudsmen in the field. Like Dale said recently, with all these facility closures, I've actually gotten from behind the desk and been in the facility,
Great.
and it was like, oh, you're with an ombudsman program. It's so great to see you, and that's a great feeling. It's fulfilling to see that even with these closures, even with the concerns and the complaints and the multiple facilities that are being investigated, that the ombudsman, that Dale's ombudsman and the state's ombudsman does a great job of just bringing people that light that they need in those hard places. And just hearing those residents say, thank you for just listening, that's fulfilling enough because, like I said, growing older is a blessing.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine what it's like being in your shoes. Can you guys share the toll-free and local numbers for residents and families who may need assistance from your programs?
All right, no problem. Yes, toll free is going to be 1-800-868-9095. And local is going to be area code 803-734-9900.
So you gave phone numbers, but is there any website or a place where families can go to get more information online?
Get Care sc.com.
And people can go to that website to find all of the resources that they need, correct?
Absolutely.
I love the internet for that reason. You can find everything that you need on there. So how can the community support the work of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program? I feel like in situations like this, y'all need all the help you can get, right?
That's correct. That's correct. The community can support by just staying informed, volunteering at your local assisted living facility, advocating legislative changes like increasing the P&A funding, which is your personal needs allowance that the residents receive every month. Speaking up when you see residents' rights at risk. So if you see something, you say something. That fear of retaliation is big, but if you see something or you see something that's not right, give us a call. We can investigate for you. And most importantly, hopefully get to the next thing by participating in the race of the ages.
Yes,
that's
and
coming up.
we will get into that in a second. But before we get into that, I do want to ask you, so maybe there's somebody who's listening who really does want to get involved. Advocating is important and speaking up and staying informed. But volunteering is important. So what kind of volunteer opportunities do y'all offer to people who want to get involved and help?
Oh, we have Volunteer Ombudsman, and we have it. It's available for every facility across South Carolina, in all nursing homes and all assisted living facilities. We really need volunteers to go in so that residents know that people care.
Yeah. Can you break down what that program looks like for those who might be interested in volunteering?
Contact your local ombudsman. If you call that number that Desmond just gave out, our number, and we will put people in contact with their local coordinator. They go through a short training, and then and we ask that people give us 2 to 3 hours per week, and then we'll assign them to a facility that's close to them.
That's amazing. Again, that phone number for those who are just tuning in and who maybe want to become a volunteer, the toll-free number is 1-800-868-9095, and then the local number is 803-734-9900. Let's talk about the race for the Ages Rockin 5K, because I know that is something that is going to make such a difference for residents who are working with the Ombudsman Program. So can you first of all tell us what inspired this race?
So this is the second annual race. This race came about.
One of the things we were discussing is being able to support causes within the Department on Aging. So last year it was to vulnerable adults, the Garden at Lighting program. So this year it's over with the Ombudsman's program. So we're trying to programs that may not have a lot of funding. We're supporting the residents that we serve.
That's great. And tell us about the race for the Ages Rockin 5K. You said it's the second year that it's happening.
Yes.
Walk me through what day of the event looks like.
Okay. Bright and early. Well, it's going to be pretty dark. November 1st. November 1st, 2000. But we will. I would hope to see a lot of smiling faces.
We'll bring the sunshine.
We'll bring the sunshine
for the day, right?
And you're going to hear some rock and roll, some nice 80s. Okay. And you're going to see a cheerleading section. And you're going to walk up to Saluda Shoals and you'll see a lot of bright shirts. And you're going to get introduced to Running Ricky. And that's
Who's Running Ricky?
Our mascot.
You have to come to see.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Yes. It's going to be a morning stretch. That is right. Mm-hmm. Warm up. We're going to have a lot of information to give out, a lot of information for the community, a lot of information for the public about the Department of Aging and the Ombudsman Program. It's going to be a lot of resources out there, and we need the community support to be there, just to cheer, and anybody and everybody needs to be there.
So what do the funds for the race go towards? Because obviously there is a registration fee.
Yes.
So what do those funds help y'all be able to do? So
those funds directly benefit those residents we were speaking about that are displaced from the long-term care closures that are happening. They're going to go towards to provide the relocation bags. Those bags are usually some of the things that they're actually going through, have that to move to the next facility. That's the only thing they have. Like we're going to have hygiene products. We're going to have toiletries, maybe some clothing. Like if a facility closed and somebody has to move in an immediate 30-day notice and they might have bed bugs or anything, the relocation bag comes in. It has a lot of things. Dale probably can explain more. That's what's in the bag, but
well, and kind of going off of that, is there an opportunity for people to donate those items instead of maybe donating, obviously for the race, paying the registration fee, but outside of the race, is there people or is there an opportunity for people to donate those items?
They can donate some of those items. What we've decided, because we were having to store things, and that costs money to store.
That's fair.
Yeah. So what and along with the fact that, as Esmond's saying about the displaced residents, we also have residents who need things in emergency. They may need coats. They
It depends on the situation
Yeah,
and what
so-
the person
yeah,
is going through. Okay.
Because we've had people who literally they were standing inside. They had one coat, and so when you went outside to smoke and you came back, then you shared that coat and you went back out, kind of thing. So
Yeah. Okay, so it's a great way for the community to come together, obviously, to
Yes.
support and show these residents that they're not forgotten. Why is that community support so important for an event like this?
The biggest word is community. We want to let these residents know that even though you might feel isolated in your assisted living, or if you're feeling like you don't, like I said, over 60% of these residents do not receive visitors a year, just seeing that the community came out to say, hey, we got your back. We got these community relocation bags. We're going to give you some funds. We're going to be there just to cheer you on and know that you're not alone. That's a big thing. It reduces that isolation they feel, that vulnerability they feel from being in those facilities. It might not be the best situation for them. And like I said, we hope to get there one day, that we can grow old and be still a part of the community. And this event will help them understand, like, hey, there's people out there that care about us and care about our well-being and have our back.
Right. I had mentioned at the beginning of the show how I went through a similar situation with my grandfather, and I can't even imagine what it's like for somebody who doesn't have the family support, let alone the support from an ombudsman program or giving them the right to use their voice and show their concerns. I can only imagine what that's like for them. So that's why I believe in this event so much, and I'm really encouraging all of our listeners today to take part in this race. I do have a question for you. I don't run.
you can walk.
As a
Can I
walk as well.
walk?
You can walk, you
Okay.
can crawl, you can
Volunteer.
skip, you can volunteer.
I have kids. Can I bring the kids?
Bring
Yes.
your kids. I have my 22-month-old grandson signed up.
Oh, that's
Yes.
great. Now can I bring my dogs? Is
Bring
that
your dog.
possible?
Bring your dogs.
Even better. I love an excuse
more
to
the
get my
merrier.
dogs out to get walking. So
It's a race for the ages, and it doesn't matter what your age or what you are.
right, you can be
Yeah.
there.
You can be there.
Come
So
enjoy.
how can people sign up or learn more about the Ages Rockin' 5K?
Okay. Just go to strictlyrunning.com. It is on the home landing page. Like I said, it's November 1st. It'll take you right to the registration page. You can go to getcaresc.com. You can contact myself or Dale or anybody at the Ombudsman Program. All sponsorship opportunities and any kind of donation opportunities will be found there.
That's great.
Yes.
It's going to be such a great event. I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm definitely going to go home and talk to my husband about how I mean, I know I am already going to be there, but I'm going to
no
bring
problem.
him and I'm going to bring the dogs, and it's
Yes.
going to be so
Yes.
much fun. I love
Yes.
an opportunity to bring my dogs out to support a good cause, because there's some times
Absolutely.
where you're
Absolutely.
like, the dogs aren't welcome at this event, and I'm like, boo. But I'm really excited that I can bring them out to get a good walk in, and honestly to support such a great cause. Before we wrap up our interview today, I want both of you to give one kind of final key wrap up about why your services are so important and why this event is so important for the community of people that you serve.
Just to kind of remind people that residents are not forgotten. That's what this event is for us, and that they continue to be supported, as Desmond is saying. And for the Ombudsman, that we continue to provide a voice for the residents, so that they have a seat at the table and their needs are being made known.
What about you?
It's hard to follow up, but I would say I can lean in on the hope. Hope gets a lot of people through some dark places and some bad times, and showing this event that says, okay, I have hope. I have people out there praying for me. I have people out there supporting me in any way, in any possibility, provides that, like I said, that light at the dark places, showing that the community supports and the Ombudsman Program is here and is willing to do whatever and however, and as Dale says, whatever we can do, we're going to do it.
The Race for the Ages Rockin' 5K, it's going to be such a fun and meaningful run and walk to directly benefit displaced residents right here in South Carolina. Break it down one more time. When is it happening? Where is it happening?
November 1st, 2025 at 8 a.m. Get there early. Shalula Shows.
Okay.
The fields at Shalula Shows.
Okay, great. And where can people go to sign up one more time?
StrictlyRunning.com or GetCareSC.com.
And again, if you or someone you know needs the toll-free and local numbers for residents and families who may need assistance from the Ombudsman Program, toll-free, it's 1-800-868-9095. And local is 803-734-9900. You can also find more details online when you visit getcaresc.com. Dale and Desmond, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning. I'll see you both at the race. I'm going to bring my dogs. I'm just letting you know.
Bright and early.
Yes, I'm going to see you bright. Well, I will bring the sunshine with my dogs and their smiling faces. Thank you so much for coming on Access Columbia. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will see you next week.